Right, okay, so you've got your shape that you've um, assembled. I haven't done the other ones. I'm going to leave that up to you. I just want to move on and show you how to do some of the other bits and pieces that this software can show us. And this one is about rendering. Okay, so over on the right hand side here, if I go down, if I click the drop down menu here, I can see it says render. Okay, and I'm just going to click that one, and it's going to shift into a new kind of plane. So here we're going to try and give it this kind of, I suppose, final look of what it might finally look like. I'm just going to turn off all these bits and pieces that I've got here. So if I go to my display settings, I can turn off all that information, and now I've got in front of me just the very simple block. As you can see, it's probably already been assigned a material, which you can do at the beginning of the building process. And over here we've got a new set of tools. So we've got our appearance, we can change the scene, that's the background. We can put decals on, so we could put on images if we wanted to, and then we could do all sorts of stuff that we don't really need to deal with at the moment with the texture control. I want to change the appearance, okay, so I'm going to select my little beach ball that we got there, and you can see that the steel has already been assigned to all of these pieces, but let's not worry about that, because that's just the mechanical properties. When it goes in to do some solid modelling, that's where that will be useful. So if we look down here on the appearance, the library, I've got down underneath all these different types of material. Now traditionally a shape sorter is going to be wood, so I'm going to open that up, and it's going to be finished, and I've got all these different types of woods that I've got here: walnut, mahogany, cherry, dark bamboo, pine, and you can see that some of them actually have a little arrow next to them. Now if I was to grab this dark bamboo or this cherry, for example, it wouldn't allow me to drag it on because it's not actually part of my library now, so I need to click on that and download it. So you don't have to do this with all of them, you can do it just the ones that you want to. Now, if we have a look at the very, very top here, we've got, when we start to drag in our renders, it's going to ask us if we want to do it to the entire body of that unit, or whether we want to just apply that to one of those faces. Now, at the moment, I want all of this to be wood. So I'm going to make sure that bodies and components are selected. Okay, so I can go down to my cherry, drag it on, and then let go of my mouse, and it will just drop that on top of it there. Okay. So it gives us a really nice finish. It's not rendered in any way, but it is, you can see it's got a nice wooden texture on it there. Now, the nice thing about this is it gives me the option to change a variety of the different settings on the render there. So if I just click on here, double click, I can actually change the way that the wood pattern goes if I wanted to. I could change the intensity if I wanted to have it quite small, like a burl. The problem is with doing something like that is that you actually start to get lines. Oh, it's just frozen on me. Oh, there we go. So let's get that back over here. There you go, it happens. Double click that, and you'll see that the lines will appear as soon as I start scaling it right down, because it repeats a pattern. And you can change all sorts of different bits and pieces there. It's probably not necessary at this stage. So it gives us a nice wooden pattern. So these shapes that I want to stick in, I'm going to go down here. Now, traditionally these would be probably a plastic. I'm going to put in a nice kind of green color here for my bar there. Let's try another material. Let's try painted. Let's go for a smooth powder coated red color here. Oh, I need to download that first. That should be nice and simple, nice powder coated. And I'm trying to select a variety of different ones here, just so that you can see when we do the in-canvas rendering and the off-site rendering, the differences that we've got here. And then let's try iron. Let's go for a polished iron unit there. Okay, doesn't really like that one. Let's delete that. Let's try leather. Why wouldn't we? Let's try a well-weathered leather shape there. Okay, and again we can change all those settings if we need to. So there we go. We've got a kind of pretty decent rendered image that we could use. But I want to really see what the computer can do, make it really powerful. So if I just click this one here, enable in-canvas render, what it will do is it will start to take this image and make it better and better and better. So it'll go through iterations that you can see here. All right, so it's starting to, you can see it's gone through 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going over and improving it again and again and again and again. And you'll see that this actually takes a really long time to complete because it's trying to make it more and more, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Perfect in its appearance. You know, it's trying to make it more and more subtle with its little changes. So I'm going to close that. Don't really want to get that going because I don't really have a powerful enough computer. But if I click the button here that says render, it'll ask me to do this off-site. So I can change the size of the image if I want to. I can change, you know, all of these different bits and pieces. But the interesting thing here is if the file format is PNG, it means that I will be able to take that image and I will be able to insert it into a Photoshop document. So I could open up Photoshop, insert a PNG, and actually make it look realistic in terms of its background settings. At the moment, I just want to have a high quality JPEG, and I want it to render within the cloud. So this is going to get sent off to Autodesk in wherever they are in America, and it will get done on their computers there. And it's saying it should take about 20 minutes to do that. All right, so that's sent that off, and it's whizzing around there. And when it gets finished, it will send that JPEG back to me. So while that's doing, let's have a look at the backgrounds. So we can change the scene settings. And on this first page, we've got a variety of different light settings. We can change the brightness of the light. We can change the background if we want to have a solid color. Or if we want to have an environment, we can have a look in our environmental library, and I could drop in something like this field, for example. And what that would do is it would apply that scene to the background, that it would try and make it look like this is actually part of the image. Okay, you can see it's a little bit gimmicky at this stage, and if I was to delete it and move it around, okay, let's see if I can move that over here a bit, so it would look like it was in a farmer's field. So you've got a little shadow there, and then I could actually start to do again a render in that field. Okay, and it would start to try and make it look more and more realistic, much more higher quality image. I'm going to stop that. So I've got all these different ones down here. Again, I could drop that into a plaza, or you could change that to just being in a room somewhere with some skylights. There's all sorts of different settings there you can play with. But it means that we can go back to the settings and we can look at the way the cameras are set out, whether that's going to be perspective, orthographic, exposure, depth of fields, and so on, aspect ratios that you might want to apply. Alright, so there's a variety of different ways there that we can kind of see our shape. Now, one of the things I do want to do is show you how we can drop an image on one of these faces. So if we've got a decal here, so a decal is basically an image that you would apply to the face. So I've just got these set up here within my folders here, and I'm going to put the Millfield logo onto this face. Okay, and I can change the size of the logo, where it goes, where it fits. Alright, click OK, and again I've got that in a high quality image. If I start to render that in the canvas, you can see that you can actually start to produce very realistic looking models. Okay, and this is really, really useful for communicating the kind of thing that you're trying to get across. Okay, so I'm going to stop that again, and let's have a little look. This is from the cloud rendering. Have a little look at it. Okay, and there you can see really high quality rendered image of what the actual product might look like as a final product. So that's rendering, guys. So I'm going to leave that to you. Have a go with that. Play around with it. Like I said, there's plenty of options there for you to try out, and it might give you an idea when you are designing something. Perhaps some of the perspectives that you might get by changing different materials and so on to produce a very similar thing. All right, well, good luck with that.